So if you're a consultant for one of the large out-of-the-box work-for-yourself companies like Mary Kay or Avon, you'll find that they offer a lot of really great sales and marketing materials that you can use personally. Add your own personal information to help with your sales, but they're not always optimized for easy changes. If you'll notice on the one we have on the screen, we have this thing down here that says name and number here. Well, that would be great if you could type anything there, but what happens with Adobe Acrobat is the way this form is completed, all that pops up is this replacement text. You're editing what you want to go there. It's not really changing anything. So without the original source file, the program it was used to actually create the brochure in to begin with, you're a bit limited in Acrobat in what you can do, all depending on how they've set this up. If you can manage to select the text, try to delete it, or try to select the box that it's in and delete it, that's great, because at least it gives you a blank canvas to work with. If it doesn't work, your best bet is going to be to try to cover this text with a blank white box, since we do have a white background on this particular brochure, and then we can go back in and add the text that we want on top of that. Now, to create a blank white box to cover the existing text, what you're going to want to do is go up to the Tools menu, select Content and Markup, and look on down till you find the rectangle tool and select that. And it's easy enough to just draw your rectangle over the existing text, and try to make sure you're not covering anything else like these dotted lines that are around here that you might want to keep visible. Once you've got it there, right click on that box and select Properties, and go in and change the color, because I know you don't want a bright red one on here, and just select white, which obviously changes the outside lines. You also want to change this fill color. Right now it's got a line through it which says there is no fill color, it's empty, and you can still see that text coming through there. So change that to white. It's covered up. So click OK, and you've got it. Now notice you also can adjust this now. If you have gone over those dots a little bit, you can adjust this back to exactly where you want it, or if maybe you didn't quite get all the text covered, adjust it to where you want it. Click off, and it's just like it doesn't exist. So now we've got our blank white canvas. So with our blank white area, now we want to add your custom text, your name, your title, and your contact information. And in Adobe Acrobat there are ways to add text, but initially it's better if you can do this from the original source document if it was created in Word or Publisher or some other application. Since we're going with the idea that we don't have that, and of course this PDF's not really working well with us in Acrobat, I'm going to show you a workaround for this. Now what I've already done is entered the text into Microsoft Word, and you notice I've centered it. I have selected an Arial font, mainly because the font here is a sans serif. If it had little curly cues on it, it would be a serif, and I would probably go with Times New Roman, but to try to make it match as closely as I can, I used Arial. Arial and Times New Roman are your better choices if you don't know what to use. And I picked 10 because I think it'll fit well. You notice the aspect ratio is not quite right here, but if we select this and hit Control C, or right click and copy the text that we have on Word, and we click on the Adobe document and hit Control V to paste, we get a nice pretty red box again. But again, we can select that box and resize it, get it more in the area that we want it to go, resize that down, move it up so it's not covering those dots. If you need to, squeeze it a little bit. And it looks about right, but it's still got that red box, so again we need to right click on it and select Properties and change our border color to white because we want it to look invisible. And there we go. We can click off that box, and of course it goes around. And notice now we can click that box. Now if a PDF had been set up originally this way, it would have been a whole lot easier, and we could have skipped all those steps, or even double clicked and changed the text in here. But even that's a little difficult in Acrobat this way. If you decide this isn't the right size or you want to put it somewhere else, you can go back into Word and change that. We had a font size of 10. You can change it to 12. You can try 14 just to see what fits better here. Just go back and remember Control-C, Control-V to copy and paste. So once you've got all the information exactly the way you want it with your name and your web address, your contact information, all that good stuff, you want to scroll up to the top of your document and get to the File menu. And you want to do either a save or a save as if you want to change the name, you know, so it's not the original file name, but you want to save it with your initials at the end or something like that to designate it as something different from the original file. Definitely you do want to save. You do want to save as. Once you've done this, however, I want to add another step here. Under the File menu again, I want you to scroll down and go to Print. Now we're not actually going to print it. What we're going to do is under the printer name, instead of selecting one of the actual printers here, I want you to select Adobe PDF, which is our Adobe PDF converter, and I want you to click OK. As the progress goes through, it's going to come up, it's going to ask you what name. Again, you can add your initials here or whatever, just to designate it as something different, and click Save. Now, the reason we're doing this is it's going to create another PDF file. And by using this background print to PDF rather than create the PDF, save the PDF, what this background printing process is doing is it's merging all those layers. So we've got the original document, we've got our white box that we've got covered up, and then we've got your name on top of it. So it smushes it all down to one flat image layer. So your chances of coming up with a good printed copy are much better this way. So I made this video for a friend who was having trouble customizing some of these sales and marketing brochures with their own contact information. So if you're having similar issues and don't have a full version of Acrobat or just don't feel comfortable with the files, feel free to contact me at sherrysnyder.com. I am a technical writer, so fixing print and multimedia files, websites, and blogs is definitely part of what I do. You can certainly buy me by the hour or by the project, and maybe I can help with some more of these DIY how-to videos so you can do some of these things yourself. I certainly hope this one helped.